show where there are no penalties, nothing is offside, and everything is fair game. This is The Gloves Are Off.
Welcome to another edition of The Gloves Are Off. Matt Schumont filling in once again for Moses Woldu. And of course, joining me as always on the set is CPCA radio announcer Greg Buchanan. How's it going, Bucky?
Not bad, Matt.
And our guest for this week, probably the most sharply dressed man out of all guests on here. Cameraman.
I didn't get the memo.
Yeah, neither did I, apparently, and I'm the host.
I watched a ton of sports movies last night, so I'm in the zone.
Michael Gordon, cameraman, New Cap Television. You ready to do this?
We'll find out.
You got your cup of water?
I got my cup of water.
So you're good to go.
Let's do it.
Okay, we'll start with the Stanley Cup Finals. Boston taking a 2-1 series lead over the Blackhawks. And doing it in great fashion, blanking the Hawks. I think the Hawks only been shut out twice this whole entire year. But 2-1 series, how do you think it's going so far?
Yeah, you know, if you're Chicago, you go into Game 3. You know it's only even up. It's a game apiece. You got a chance going back to Boston, but you lose Hossa before you even drop the puck. That rattles a team. Like when you go back into your dressing room, you go through warm-up, and you're getting ready, and you're looking at your lines, and all of a sudden you lose probably your best offensive weapon in the playoffs this year. All of a sudden you lose him before you even drop the puck. That does rattle a team. And then Boston kind of took advantage of it, and Chicago just can't get out of their own end. They can't make that first pass. They can't make those long stretch passes. They're going to have to keep it simple.
And that's the kind of team that they are.
Exactly.
They always look for that stretch
They're
pass.
a freewheeling team. Boston cut out their legs. And Detroit did the same thing against Chicago, but Chicago was able to battle through it. So it'll be interesting to see now going in Game 4, can Chicago battle through it like they did against Detroit?
Yeah, I actually think it's fantastic. It's probably some of the best hockey that's been played all year because it's exciting. I mean, it's going into OT pretty much every single game, right? And this is exactly what the NHL wants because they had kind of like a rocky start with pretty much less than half a season.
Yeah, 48
And then
games.
starting out, the fans are kind of like, well, we don't know if we want to pay for ticket prices. We don't know if we want to do this. So it's fantastic that it's ending on this now because it's sort of a high note to go out on.
Yeah. I kind of want to go back to the Hossa deal. As a coach, maybe as a GM, like what are you telling the guys when you see your star player going off the ice? What's the message before the game with Hossa out?
Well, I think with Hossa coming out, you step in as a coach and you tell somebody's got to pick it up. Here you lose a guy. And not necessarily the coach has to do that. A guy like Taves, a guy like Kane, a guy like Sharp walks into that room that says, now boys, we lost Hossa. Somebody else has to step up. And that's when an opportunity comes for a Kane, comes for a Sharp to step up and take the ball with it and go with it.
Yeah, no, I'm actually going to agree with you. Pretty much right before the game starts, I think the biggest job of the coach is keep your guys calm, keep them focused. And I think when one of your star players just leaves the ice, you kind of get rattled a little bit. So I think you just got to calm everybody down and tell them we still have the talent to win this game.
Okay, and now going back to Boston, like you said, they've been shutting down with the stretch pass and whatnot. But you got to give Tuukka Rask some credit. He's been outstanding this playoffs and in the Cup final. What his goals against is 1.4 something, but you got to give a lot of credit to Rask.
Well, and I think one thing but for Rask, the book when it was on him was he gets rattled easily. You get into his face, he gets rattled. He looks very cool and calm there. The only time I saw him rattle was probably losing a shootout in the American Hockey League. But you look at him, what he has done. He has been unconscious. Game 2, there's no way Chicago should have been up by only one goal. They should have been up by about 3 or 4 in that first period. And then if Chicago's up by 3 after 20, it's done. And Rask kept them in it. And that's all you hope for a goalie. Give us a chance to win a game any night, whether it be regular season or playoffs. And he's given Boston a chance to win every night.
3 OTs. He's doing fantastic. We're good.
Okay, now quickly before we move on, Chicago's power play, non-existent. I believe Boston's killed the last 25, 26 straight PKs. You got talent like Taves and Kane and Sharp and Seabrook and Keith. What's going on? Why isn't this PP clicking like it should be?
You're watching it, they just don't get the puck on net. You know, sometimes you have to throw those muffins from the point and hope that it goes off a stick or a skate or a body and in. They're just not, and Boston's taken away the lanes. Not saying that Chicago's not doing everything great, but Boston's doing some pretty good things in their penalty kill too. When you're cutting down, you're taking away the shooting lanes. That's what you want to do on penalty kill, and Boston's doing it, and they're doing it very good.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. It's like, you know, every time you face a new team, and especially for 7 games, perhaps, you got to just kind of look back and go, okay, well, maybe this power play is not going to work against them. So I think they got to just figure out a few more things, but they better do it pretty soon because you're already pretty much almost at the end of the series.
Okay, right on. Moving on. We'll talk the New York Rangers. Alain Vigneault reportedly signing a 5-year contract worth $10 million, so $2 million per year. Is this a good fit for Vigneault going to the Rangers organization?
Well, you go from Tortorella to Vigneault, so you kind of go from a monster to Mr. Rogers. And
That's not a bad way of putting it.
Tortorella, I guess the shelf life in a coach like him is a short one because it's like an owner and his dog. After a while, you keep on yelling at that dog. The dog's going to listen at first of all, but after a while, that dog's going to go, you know what, on your leg. Yeah. And I think that's what happened in New York. The players did, you know what, on Tortorella's leg. And then Al Vigneault's going to be very welcome to a lot of those players. You're not going to hear that yelling. You're not going to hear them cutting every player down in front of all the other players. So I think it's going to be very welcomed in New York.
Now, well, we were talking about this a bit yesterday, and when I said, because New York did have a better season than Vancouver, so really he's trading up.
Yeah.
So you were describing it as what did you say it was?
When the players are just getting tired of listening to the same coach, they just need a different opinion, a different voice in the dressing room.
Which I'm not sure if I understand that. But, I mean, if you're going to go to New York and you're going to get $10 million, of course you're going to want to do that. And if he is a new face for the organization and they feel that that's the face that they want, then absolutely. Okay. I don't see the harm.
Now, with a new coach, do you feel like the upper management might bring in different players to work around this guy? Or do you think this is the kind of team that Vigneault can kind of coach and guide to a final championship?
Well, I think they have to do some tinkering with their lineup because obviously it didn't get them where they wanted to get to. They got some decisions to make on the front end. They got some decisions to make on their back. And, goaltending, they probably have the best goalie, one of the best goalies in the National Hockey League. So I think they'll have to do a little tinkering. I don't think it's going to be major overhaul changes, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I think some new players are going to be brought in because that's like your job as the coach is you have to see where can you take this team. And if he's leaving Vancouver, he's already thinking about what can he do with New York. So I think absolutely you're going to see maybe not an entire new roster, but you're definitely going to see some new people.
Okay, now we'll go to the NHL awards quickly. They handed those out over the weekend. Ovechkin won the MVP, got the Hart Crosby MVP. Ted Lindsay voted by the players. Subban Norris for best defenseman. Paul McLean, best coach, got the Jack Adams. Sergei Bobrovsky got the Vezina for best goalie. Do you like these winners this year, or do you feel like maybe someone else should have got the edge?
I like the winners. It's unfortunate the way they were handed out.
Yeah.
But I guess that's, it almost seems like the NHL wants to speed everything up and get ready and get to the summertime and get it over with.
Well, if you think about it, after this, there's only about 3.5, 4 months until puck drop for next year. So
exactly. So I think they want to speed everything up, and all the awards are okay with me. Ovi, I guess you judge him for what he did during the regular season, not what he didn't do in the playoffs. So I think they're all good picks.
Yeah, I scrolled through them yesterday, and I noticed that the Oilers didn't win, and they weren't nominated for anything.
Nope.
So that was kind of harsh.
No, Yakupov wasn't even nominated.
No, he wasn't even nominated.
That's one that I kind of thought, he could have been.
Usually for the last few years, it's kind of been our guy always gets in. So it was a bit weird, but yeah, looking at it, I didn't have any problems with anybody who won.
Okay, right on. Well, with that being said, we'll take a quick commercial break. More Dump and Change coming up.